Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving right into the hidden reality of the digital ecosystems you use literally every single day, pulling back the curtain on how innovation actually works in the tech world. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this fascinating and honestly, kind of unsettling look at the forces shaping our digital lives. So, ask yourself, are tech giants really the ultimate engines of innovation? We all just intuitively assume the massive companies behind our screens are the visionaries driving modern progress, building a better, faster, more connected future for us all. And why wouldn't we? I mean, they provide us with all these incredible tools, usually for free, and they're constantly rolling out shiny new updates. Well, let's look at the numbers. Between 2010 and 2020, Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft, often known as GAFAM, invested a staggering $451.6 billion collectively in research and development. Just to put that into perspective, that is more than the GDP of over 160 countries combined. This massive spend seemingly proves they're these benevolent innovators, acting as the coral reefs of the digital economy, supporting huge ecosystems of third-party developers. But we really need to look a little closer and see what that money is actually funding, and more importantly, what it might be suppressing. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover Off Course, the Tech Illusion, Meet the Tech Barons, Enter the Tech Pirates, the Innovation Torpedoes, and finally, Distorting the Demand.
Section 1. Off Course, the Tech Illusion.
So in aviation, there's this thing called the 1 in 60 rule. Basically, if a pilot makes a tiny 1-degree error in navigation, they end up 1 mile off course for every 60 miles they travel. On a slow ship, you can easily correct this. But in the digital economy, we are traveling at supersonic speeds. That means seemingly insignificant flaws in our assumptions about how tech innovation works have compounded super fast, leading us drastically off course from true progress. The whole tech utopia we imagined in the 90s has, in a lot of ways, drifted into a reality where our choices and innovations are actually tightly constrained.
Section 2. Meet the Tech Barons.
So who exactly is steering the ship and getting us so off course? Well, think back to the game makers in the Hunger Games. The game makers didn't just play the game, right? They designed the arena, they controlled all the resources, and they orchestrated the rules to ensure the capital always won. Tech barons operate exactly like this. They are the architects of our digital ecosystems. They don't just participate in the market. They meticulously orchestrate the whole thing, search, maps, app stores, cloud hosting, to guarantee the rules always benefit their own underlying profit models.
But wait, on the other side of the arena, we've got the tech pirates. These are the rebels, the startups, the explorers trying to bring truly disruptive innovation to the world. They're operating out in uncharted waters, totally unburdened by the need to protect some massive existing user base or an aging profit model. This freedom lets them create immense societal value, but as you can probably guess, it puts them on a direct collision course with the barons.
Section 3. Enter the Tech Pirates.
Why do they inevitably clash? Well, when you map this out, the conflict is actually pretty obvious. You've got sustaining versus disruptive innovation, and value creation versus value destruction. Barons heavily fund sustaining innovation to protect their profits, like, adding a slightly better camera to a phone. But pirates bring disruptive innovation. When a pirate creates something like a brand new privacy standard, it creates immense societal value, but directly threatens the barons' locked-down ecosystems. Basically, the barons only want disruption outside their walls. Inside, they want absolute control. And these tech barons possess what is essentially a god's eye view of the market, using incredibly advanced Nowcasting radars. By constantly monitoring search queries, app usage, and web traffic across their platforms, they can spot a disruptive pirate taking off before anyone else even realizes it. Once they spot them, the barons use their immense power to systematically manipulate both the supply of that new technology and our demand for it.
Section 4. The Innovation Torpedoes. When a pirate's app gets flagged on this radar as a legitimate threat, the barons deploy their arsenal, specifically 3 innovation torpedoes: the Exclusion torpedo, the Interoperability torpedo, and the Copycat torpedo. And let's be clear, these aren't just normal competitive practices. These are existential strikes meant to sink a startup overnight. Let's break down exactly how they work.
First up, the Exclusion torpedo. Take the privacy app Disconnect. They built this amazing tool that stopped hidden third-party trackers from harvesting data on your phone. The problem? Google makes its billions precisely through behavioral advertising and tracking. Because Disconnect threatened that exact value chain, Google simply removed it from the Play Store, citing some vague policy violations. Poof! Just like that, Disconnect lost access to billions of Android users.
If you aren't in the App Store, you literally don't exist. The Baron just excluded the threat.
Then there's the interoperability torpedo. Look at Facebook and the short video app Vine. When Vine started exploding in popularity, Facebook's radar flagged it as a direct threat to their newsfeed. So what did Facebook do? They deployed the interoperability torpedo by cutting off Vine's access to their APIs, the software bridges that let apps talk to each other. All of a sudden, Vine users couldn't easily find their Facebook friends to connect with on the new app. By artificially breaking how the app worked, Facebook completely stifled Vine's growth.
And finally, the copycat torpedo. Instead of coming up with their own innovations, Barons just clone the pirate. We saw this perfectly with Facebook and Snapchat. When Snapchat refused to be bought, Facebook simply copy-pasted Snapchat's core features, like disappearing stories, straight into Instagram. The goal wasn't just to make a cool new feature for users, it was to completely kill user migration. Because why would you bother downloading a new app when the app you already have suddenly does the exact same thing? The pirate loses the scale they need, and they sink.
Section 5. Distorting the demand.
Now, you're probably wondering, if these pirate apps offer such amazing privacy or way better functionality, why don't we consumers just demand them? Why don't we go out of our way to find them? Well, think about the black catbirds. These birds used to migrate all the way to southern Europe or Africa for the winter. But then, humans in the UK started leaving out bird food, creating this giant, easy buffet. Guess what happened? The birds literally stopped migrating. Their entire evolutionary behavior shifted because of convenience. Tech barons do the exact same thing to us. They manipulate our natural user behavior by surrounding us with a totally frictionless, convenient ecosystem. We think we're making free choices, but we are really just eating at the buffet the barons laid out for us.
To really understand how we get trapped at this digital buffet, we can look at Everett M. Rogers' famous 5 stages of technology adoption. This perfectly breaks down how the manipulation happens on both a psychological and a systemic level.
The whole trick here is how barons systematically control the friction across those stages: knowledge, persuasion, decision, implementation, and confirmation. By applying heavy friction to pirate apps, like burying them in search results, blocking their installation, or making them completely glitchy when syncing with your phone, and simultaneously making their own in-house tools totally frictionless, barons dictate every single step of your journey. You end up adopting their sustaining innovations effortlessly, while disruptive pirate apps just quietly die from a lack of visibility.
So why does all of this matter to you? Because this isn't just some abstract economic theory. This directly impacts your phone, your privacy, and honestly, your life. The illusion of free choice hides the fact that your digital autonomy is being carefully orchestrated behind the scenes. You are only adopting the innovations the game makers actually permit you to see. The toxic innovations that harvest your data flourish, while the pirate innovations trying to protect you are starved of oxygen.
Just listen to this internal email quote from Mark Zuckerberg. It brilliantly exposes the harsh reality of the digital economy. He said, "What we're really buying is time. If we incorporate the social mechanics they were using, those new products won't get much traction since we'll already have their mechanics deployed at scale. It is not about creating the absolute best technology for us. It's about buying time, crushing the alternatives, and locking you in before you even realize a better option existed." Which leaves us with a massive question. If the barons are dictating our future right now, what toxic innovations are we gonna be forced to adopt next? As we move deeper into an era of AI and virtual reality, the stakes are getting exponentially higher. We have to ask ourselves, are we okay with this illusion of choice? As these ecosystems expand to read our emotions and predict our every move, are we really just gonna accept whatever the barons feed us? Or is it time to start seeking out and actively demanding the pirates? Think about that the next time you tap download. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep questioning the tech you use every single day.